A round of action in the GJ Gardner Tauihi Basketball Aotearoa. It's a pleasure to be with you from the North Shore, the home, many would say, of basketball over the last couple of decades, at least here in New Zealand. Andrew Dewhurst with you alongside Casey Frank as a top-of-the-table clash between the Kahu and the Whai. Casey, two teams that certainly would have postseason aspirations in this Tauihi.
I think even more than that, these are two of the title favorites looking into, at this point in the season, they're playing the best basketball, certainly the Whai, still undefeated, and really finding their feet offensively with their mix of interior and perimeter players of skill. The Kahu had a little bit of a hiccup, but with Kalia Tupaya leading the way, they are a potent offensive force who will really put a lot of pressure on the Whai to try and hold on to that undefeated record.
Yeah, it is going to be fascinating to see two of the real contenders go head-to-head here. First game, of course, for the Kāhu at Eventfinda Stadium. As we look forward to some big matchups. There's confirmation of that ladder at the moment. The Kāhu unbeaten 3 from 3, and the Whai with the 2 wins from their 3 games. Of course, 5 teams in this inaugural Tauihi competition. Other games being played over the next little while of action. Coming up, just looking at the dates have thrown me there.
The dates have thrown us, but the games are still upcoming. As we look into the next couple of days, we've got the Tokomanawa Queens against the Polakai coming up tomorrow, followed by the Kāhu against the Southern Hoiho. There we go, got the dates correct in there now.
Yeah, and rounded out at Kāhu Stadium on Sunday with the Polakai up against the Whai. So busy times for these teams as they take on this competition. And of course, 3 times they play the opposition over the course of the regular season. As we have a look at the starting lineup for the Kāhu, with this impressive guard, and she can score in so many different ways. Tupaya, look for her to be effective from outside. Ledger Walker, Michaela Cox, of course, and the 2 Americans, Grays and Wolf.
And interesting, Marta Grays is put back into the starting lineup. She came off with 15 points off the beat. Here we have a look at Kyra Lambert, who will be one of the premier players for the Whai. She is so tough offensively and defensively. Her last game out against the Hoyo, she was relentless, putting ball pressure up the court.
So busy with the hands as well. So many steals, affecting so many plays. As we look forward to her impact on the game. Jodie Cameron, of course, is the coach of the Kāhu. I tell you that the starting lineup for the Whai is going to be Tiana Clark, Sean Romati, Kyra Lambert, who we've just highlighted, Dominic McBride and Nikki Green, and they are reliant on the Americans. All teams reliant on imports. I mean, that's a given in basketball around the world, but the 3 Americans for the Whai are a huge influence, as we see Talia Tupaya.
And she has been just brilliant offensively so far this season. Has the ability to score from inside and outside. She's averaging 22 points, 3.7 rebounds, and 2.7 assists. But she may be the best scorer in the competition this year. Her ability to shoot the ball from deep, her ability to finish at the rim with both hands and the mid-range. She has been extremely impressive in the season up to this point. And no doubt the Whai will have her at the very top of the scouting report and look to, if not stop her, slow her down somewhat, because that's the head of the snake for the Kāhu. As she goes, so will the scoring load for this Kāhu squad.
Look at the head-to-head. Both of these teams have had little trouble finding the twine. They've scored plenty of points. Look at the 3-point shooting percentage, though. Both would want that to be a little bit higher. And of course, both have star power right across their lineups.
Number 11, Sean Romati. And the captain,
here we take a look at the officials for today. Taylor Avenson, Michael Graham, Danielle Cooch.
Also, number 54,
our whistle pumpers on the day.
Make some noise for the Whai. And finally, let me hear your voices. Put some hands and some sneakers together for your
just a minute away from tip-off now.
Starting is Talia Tupaya. Number 6, Crystal Walker. And then number 32,
Up guarding each other.
Michaela Cox. And then number 35, Monty Graves. And number 52,
Starting five,
starting five is Madison Wolf. So finally, put your hands together and make some noise.
Well, just 30 seconds of tip-off now, and I am most interested in that matchup between Talia Tupaya and Kyra Lambert. That is going to be one heck of a battle. The offensive ability of Tupaya against that defensive skill and relentless tenacity of Kyra Lambert.
And I reckon that's one of the key words, relentless, because Lambert will be relentless. So Tupaya is going to have to be patient, going to have to look for her shots, but also look to bring her teammates in maybe, especially early on.
Yeah, most definitely. I wouldn't expect her to see quite a few double teams. And if not double teams, she's going to be driving into the paint and seeing multiple jerseys. When that happens, she's going to have to kick out. And this could be the night that Michaela Cox goes off. She hasn't quite hit the level that she would expect of herself offensively. Of course, still averaging 14.3 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 2.7 assists. A fantastic all-around guard. But I think if the Whai are able to shut down Tupaya, Cox is going to get a lot of open looks.
Yeah, Michaela Cox, a three-time WNBL winner with the Townsville Fire. She essentially has the keys to that city. She is much loved in that part of the world for her success in the WNBL. Such a decorated basketballer and still at the very peak of her powers at 36 years of age.
But to me, it's really about all the matchups on the interior. Madison Wolf and Marta Grace are going to have their hands full trying to slow down the Whai front line. They have been extremely tough, physical, and ever present on the offensive glass.
First look there at Lambert's McBride. So it's the three Americans stolen away, though.
A lot of activity around Nikki Green as she got that catch. She can expect that many pink, blue jerseys around her every time she catches it.
Ledger Walker kicks that one out for the three ball from the corner. No good, though, from Grays. And they get a long rebound, though. Grays will go to the bucket and lay it in, and the Kahu underway.
Nice challenge by Nikki Green. Marta Grays unconcerned with it, though, as she kicks off the story with a fantastic layup off that Madison Wolf offensive rebound.
Lambert for McBride. And she does drain the triple, so the American influence to the fore early on for the Whai. And Ledger Walker, not someone that we spoke a lot about in the build-up, but boy, is she quality. Such a decorated NCAA career, and now looking to show the home fans what she can do. The steal in there from Green.
It might have been Lambert getting a hand to it first. Green picks it up.
Lambert to the hoop, lays it in. So already a sign here. This could be a bit of an offensive battle here. The team that locks them down defensively might be the one to win it. And the and one and the absolute mauling.
Smothered.
That's not a fair fight at all.
Michaela Cox gets smothered after making the layup. Does well to expect the contact. Doesn't let her affect the shot. And Nikki Green drops the hammer. It's a little effect on, I guess, comparatively, the diminutive point guard.
Yeah, I'm challenging those at the weigh-in. I mean, they should not be in the same division, those two. It will be interesting just to keep an eye there on Michaela Cox, though. She did just come up grabbing the right elbow a little bit. She's pretty tough, though.
Yeah, she's tough. Rub some dirt on it. She'll be fine for the rest of the game. Worry about it, some icing afterwards.
Interested as we go through the opening few minutes of this, as McBride obviously is keen to shoot from distance.
Yeah, Don McBride coming off a poor shooting game against the Hoiho as Marta Grace comes up and lets it fly.
Oh dear, and it got nothing but glass.
Just a little wide left. Maybe a bit aggressive with that.
Clark, maybe is that the first touch for a Kiwi in the opening couple of minutes? And from the corner, no good, comes up short.
It's a good look from Sean Robati, though, on line, just a little short. And you see Talia Tupaya drives in the lane and three pink jerseys come to meet her.
And it was a tough shot, wasn't it? Well contested, so Whai will be happy with that.
Great box out, though, by Sean Robati to keep Marta Grace off as Tiana Clark gets pinged with the travel. The quick steps there, unfortunately for her.
It's interesting, Casey, that in the opening couple of minutes of this one, that Dom McBride has been pretty keen to shoot that 3 ball. We know that she can.
She absolutely can. She had struggled in her last game where she just was not getting it up.
Tupaia drives, left-hand finish, no good. Battle for the rebound goes the way of the Kahu.
Kahu's so active on the glass early in this one. I thought that was being an area of strength for the Whai. Ooh, as Crystal Ledger-Walker steps on the baseline there.
Plenty of basketball being played, of course, with the GJ Gardner Tauihi, as well as the men's Sal's NBL.
Yeah, and the last game out, the Whai unfortunately went 3 for 25 from the three-point line, something they'll definitely try and fix.
Well, Green misses the easy layup. Michaela Cox is called for reaching, and in fact it was Ledger Walker.
Misses the easy layup, but despite 3 Kahus floating around her, she's able to snatch that rebound with ease. Go back up. The stick-to-itiveness pays off as she gets rewarded with a trip to the Rosine.
We have talked a little bit about the guards, and you did in the build-up, but do the Whai have the edge in the paint?
I think so. I think up front they're one of the stronger teams. Nikki Green has been absolutely dominant on the glass, rebounding from both ends. The way Dom McBride, she's got a versatile forward, inside out, good physicality as well. And Sean Rabati has just really wowed me with her post move so far this season. When she gets a deep catch, but she's great at sealing down there. She is so good at finishing afterwards. Yeah,
and Rabati was one of the real sparks, wasn't she, against the Hoiho, as the Kahu can't get another bucket on the board.
Wolf did a great job with the up fake. Green went for it, but she didn't take the bait and get the foul there. She tried to scoop it around and go for the miss.
Green with the long 2. Oh, great rebounds. Oh, look at the hustle. Takes a dive to the floor as well. Does Kyra Lambert.
Yeah, she's so tough. She is so tough. She just got in there, snatches that offensive rebound. Curious to see, yeah, the foul was on the shot itself, I believe. Going to the free throw line. Looked like it might have happened a little bit late after she landed the push there, but nonetheless, she is at the Rosine.
And Wolf heads to the bench for the Kahu, and Ashley Coleman-Poto is out there. We haven't seen a lot of Ash so far this season, coming off the back of what I believe was a serious knee injury. Took her out of a lot of basketball last year, but she's a 2020 New Zealand's Grand Final MVP, so she can bring an edge to this team.
And if she's able to find her form as the season goes along, that's really going to strengthen the interior attack for the Kahu with her skill set down there.
And here she is immediately. Ledger Walker. And Clark takes a tumble. Kelman Porto straight into the defense.
Huge block there by Ezra McGoldrick.
And straight down the other end of the floor. McGoldrick can't get the basketball up. It's out of bounds. It'll be Whai from the baseline.
And that's one thing the Whai really do well, is they block shots. They are all over the shooters. That weak side help coming with a quickness.
Lambert, step back, long 2, no good. And no one there to rebound. It'll be Kahu with the possession. Marta Gray's out there now as well. In fact, still out there, I should say, for the Kahu. Haven't seen a lot go through her just yet. So Ledger Walker with a lot of the possession duties for the Kahu.
Gray's averaging 9 points on the season, but had 15 in the last time out. Mostly do some great shooting.
Another block by McGoldrick. Whistle on the play, though.
I think that foul was on Dom McBride, who was at the point of attack with the defensive assignment. Forced her into the help really nicely, but a little bit too much contact prior to that, I believe.
Rosie Samia out there also for the Whai. As Tupaia will go to the line, and no better way to allow a scorer to find some rhythm and get them into a game if you send them to the free throw line, and Tupaia makes both.
That is how scorers keep things ticking along. She's finding a lot of activity defensively. I'll just take that contact, get to the regime, drop a couple, and cut it to 2. Kahu can really use her quickness and athleticism against Nikki Green.
And already she's busy at both ends of the floor. McGoldrick, though, with a nice composed little jumper there.
Ezra McGoldrick has been fantastic this season off the bench for the Whai. Her ability to contribute defensively and offensively already becoming a real strength for their bench unit.
Michaela Cox, as you mentioned, Casey, hasn't really had a scoring explosion as yet. And so far in the opening 5 minutes of this one, she's been looking to facilitate.
That said, she has been up in the 20s. I'm just, you know, sometimes you're hoping for a little more.
Absolutely, and she'll have her own high standards, and she gets the steal there. And now Ledger Walker, they do look to go down the floor very quickly, don't they, the Kāhu? Question is, if they're met with a defensive wall, what's next in the setup? Have they got the patience?
If you don't, just give it to Tauihi and get out of the way.
And just too physical.
And where's the ball going to be? Coming up to the sideline.
I must say again, and I'm sure at some stage during the night we'll get close-up look at Mel Bennett, but certainly she is the early MVP for Best Dressed Coach.
Best dressed anything in these gyms, so I'll tell you, she is bringing the heat, game in, game out. Although not a lot of pink on the outfit today, which I got to say, I think my daughter watching at home might be a little disappointed.
Clark on the drive, she's met with good resistance. Tupaya now for the Kāhu.
I'm not sure who got in our black party, but it was a group.
And a whistle on the play. And it's going to be called on McBride, I think, here, but a little concern, I think, from Don McBride as to how easy that path opened up.
I just kicked it up ahead, and the speed of Tupaya. Then the fast break got to the paint before any of the help side was actually able to recover and see what was going on.
So the Tupaya looking to just edge the Kāhu closer from the free throw line, and does so with the first. So 3 from 3 early in this one for Tupaya.
That's going to be concerning for Coach Bennett and the Whai. Don't want her to get off early, and she's doing the job from the stripe, unfortunately. If you're a Whai fan.
For the Whai, kicks it out for Lambert. Kāhu well set here though. Lambert with the 3-ball. A little bit of a settling option there. There wasn't too much else on.
Well, she's been a bit more aggressive with the jump shot in this one than I've seen previously. She's got some space though, and she certainly has the talent to hit it from there.
Foul called on the battle for the rebound. Jodie Cameron there, coach of the Northern Kāhu.
And is that the 5th foul already?
Wow.
That happened quick.
And so they will walk the length of the floor. And it is Ashley Kalman-Poto, 30 years of age now, plenty of experience. And there are some players on that bench that are a long way off their 30th birthday. There's some young talent being given an opportunity to soak up professional basketball in Tauihi.
This is essentially the first real action that Ash Kalman-Poto's gotten this season. So nice to see her coming out and looking really comfortable out there. I think they've been treating her pretty cautiously, wanting her to get back to close to full strength as you can get after an injury like that.
Lambert driving, kicks it out. Clark for the 3-ball. Yes, it's good. Lovely.
Beautiful behind the back move by Lambert to split the double team and find Tiana Clark, the shooter, on the wing.
Tupaya, that just kicks the Whai clear again after it had been leveled up. And there's a foul here, I think, going to be called against Tupaya.
Her ability to get the ball off despite the defensive intensity is really impressive. She was just draped over there. Didn't look like she had an angle. Still was almost able to get it in. But then the frustration follows her first. So not too much to worry about there. As opposed to the Whai, a little bit of foul trouble already.
Did you prefer that previous offense from Lambert where she went exploring, challenged into the paint and then kicked it out?
Well, it depends on what the defense is reading her. I think she's always doing that, but early in this one, I like to see attacks at the rim early, just like Sean with body there, get it into the post, work those advantages down low, and let that open up the perimeter. And you're asking a big if I want to see the ball in the post?
Well, I just realized that I had walked straight into that, and you absolutely slammed the door in my face. Yeah, I mean, you were calling every play for the big in the opening 38 minutes of a game.
I think that's a pretty good strategy, I think. Reward the bigs. They're doing a lot of work down there. They need to eat too.
So that margin has just kicked out to 5 again after the Kāhu brought it back to level at 11. And they've got to get a shot up here. Shot clock down to 5, and that was a shot under shot clock pressure.
Wow, Sean Rabadi, fantastic defense. A quick rip through there by Jazz Kalahifulu was cut off physically and was able to stand up with stout defense without fouling. Solid possession.
Gabriella Adams-Gavitt out there on the floor as well now for the Kāhu, wearing number 3. And almost an interception. This time it's the Whai who are struggling to get this up, and Dash does, catches the rim in time, but the rebound goes the way of Adams-Gavitt.
The Whai are putting a lot of pressure on the Kāhu on the interior. They're holding steady so far, but it's going to be a long night.
And
good quickness.
Reaching in, Michaela Cox was flying past on the drive, and foul is called. So again, the free throw line, the Rosine line, is the friend of the Kāhu, Casey.
Well, they're doing the job there. It's because they're the aggressors on the offensive end. They're not settling for that mid-range or three-point shot for the most part. They're putting the ball on the floor, and that time we saw Michaela Cox explode off that all ball as she hits the first from the Rosine to dig in this lead just a bit.
Lambert with McGoldrick, Dash, Rabadi and Clark on the floor with the American guard. Clark feeling it from long range, and so that one catches the rim, but out over the baseline.
Feels like the Whai are just waiting for that offensive explosion from the three-point line. They've got the looks, they've got the shooters, just hasn't quite gotten the shots to drop as they were hoping for.
Well, interesting for the Whai in terms of their rotation here. Both McBride and Green sitting at the same time. Ledger Walker. The Whai well organised here though. Berry. Too long. Rebound. Whai. Here comes Clark. She will play at pace if you give her the opportunity. McGoldrick, oh, well met.
Jazz Kalahifulu able to defend well without fouling. Bit of physicality in there too, but does so straight up and down, forcing the miss and retaining possession for the Kāhu, who after they're trailing, but the defense is still very solid up to this point.
Fletcher Walker. Michaela Cox. Clark all over her. Adams-Gavitt, and they're going late in the shot clock again here. 3 seconds, they've got to get a shot up, but a foul is called late in the shot clock. No continuation. Michaela Cox asking the question.
It looked like she was up in the shooting motion, but it doesn't matter what we're thinking up here. The call was made, she accepts it. She will go back to the stripe as the Kāhu are absolutely feasting at the Rosine. 8 for 9 up to this point.
Wow, 8 of their 12.
8 of their 12 is where that offense is coming from. Struggling from the field, 2 for 14, but definitely not struggling from 15 feet right on. Maybe run some action to get you a 15-foot jumper.
Yeah, just run a play to get to the Rosine.
10 of those 14 points now from here.
Just over 30 seconds to play in the first quarter here at Eventfinda. It is top of the table clash in GJ Gardner, Tauihi. And McGoldrick almost losing that, but off a scrappy offensive set. They get a look at a three, and now back inside. McGoldrick kicks it out. Rabadi, one more pass. Clark for another triple, no good.
Oh, great look, second chance opportunities as well. But now it's the Kahu's chance to close the quarter, maybe tie it up.
Shot clock is off. Michaela Cox and Ledger Walker from a long way downtown. Does not go though. And they have been very reliant on free throws from the Rosine to stay in this one, but stay in it they do with 10 points from the free throw line. First quarter break though, it is the Whai who lead this one. It's close here at Eventfinda. Welcome back to Eventfinda Stadium on the north shore of Auckland as we continue our coverage of the GJ Gardner Tauihi Basketball Aotearoa. Two teams that many are picking to be grand final favourites. But plenty of basketball still to be played, and there are other teams in this competition that will have a very big say in that in the regular season. What have you liked? What have you seen in this opening quarter, Casey Frank?
I really like the way the Kahu were able to stand up to the activity of the Whai in that first one. Looked a couple times like the Whai might be able to take control, but the Kahu struggling a little bit from the field, but finding a way to score. That aggressiveness on the rim, really appreciate that. The Whai, you know, they're still doing a good job inside, but I think they got a little bit more there to get. Right now, they're just barely winning the rebound battle, and I think that's a position they can really win the possession game and give themselves a big lead.
Ledger Walker, well, she's been listening. She got to the Rosine, put the shot up, but unlike a free throw, there were like 3 players there guarding.
Well, she can shoot from anywhere regardless, so I'm not too concerned about most of these players getting to that spot. They're going to find it eventually. That's the thing about being a shooter. When you're off, shoot until you're on.
Lambert for the Whai. McBride opened the game with a 3 ball. Green on the curl to the basket. Too good, too strong.
Beautiful fake there. So concerned about Kyra Lambert that both defenders went in a quick spin. An ability by the center to get to the cup. Nice bit of skill shown.
Tupaia, they have yet to really find a way around and past this Whai defense. We talked about the free throws, but they need that 3 ball to fall as well. Lambert goes exploring, too quick.
It was the initial point of attack defense was great in transition, but Lambert just with that exploratory dribble, change of direction, no help there from Michaela Cox, and it was an easy layup because of it.
They kick it out, they go for the three ball again, this time it falls. Wow, did they need that from Tauihi?
Tauihi, it's just a matter of time before she starts getting her eye in from out there. Plenty of space, and she drains it from deep.
Green. McBride. Shot clock down to 4, and Lambert responded to the crowd chanting that out as if it was a Whai home game. Tauihi looking to get hot from outside, can't do so, and
oh, what a tip.
Yeah, it just couldn't get it to Tauihi though. There's a bit of push and shove off the ball as well, and lovely triple from the corner, and the response from the Whai.
Oh, that courtside change from one end. So quick, just too fast for anybody to stop Lambert, much less get to the corner for the Rabati triple.
We talked about Rabati and her ability in the paint to bump and force her way to the basket, but a lovely shot from the corner. And Ledger Walker again. Clark is all over her.
What a run by Green.
What a pass. What a bucket.
Transition. This is where the Whai are at their best, and how quickly can they put points on the board. These last few possessions, the defense to offense swap over and just lightning fast.
I tell you what, this is a physical battle as that layup is missed, and again it's Clark with the defensive pressure. Lambert leads the fast break. Turned over though.
Just a little cute with the pass. Tried to split in between two defenders, and they were all over it. Lambert understood it. Took some fault, but she'll learn from it on the next one.
The referees, Casey, are going to do well doing their money tonight. There's a lot of action, a lot of contact on screens, off ball and on ball.
Gabby Adams, Gavitt gets the bucket there after a nice pick and roll.
Oh, goodness me, just too good, Lambert.
Oh, the in and out, the shuffle. What a shimmy. Could have been a celebratory shimmy. Knew it was going in from the second she left her hands. Transition again. That is the thorn in the side of the Kahu at the moment. The Whai, when they're off to the races, are a high octane machine that is tough to slow down.
And Jodie Cameron, not surprisingly, wants to have a chat with that lead just blowing out a little to 8. It's been a hot start offensively here for the Whai.
And 11-5 here in the quarter. Not what they were hoping for. So we have a little break here, a little congratulatory to our under-17 women.
Oh, wow.
Who did a fantastic job by qualifying and crossing over. They're playing Canada next, but today they really upset African champions Mali with a 61-58 victory in their third and final game in Group D for the under-17 women. So a couple of names you might recognize. Layla Cameron finished with 18 and 6 rebounds. Maya Jones, 15 points, a couple of late three-pointers. Fantastic to see those guys. Ivy Brown, Victoria Tamilo were also really important in that victory, and they're off to face Canada in the crossovers now.
Yeah, and fantastic, and there's so much basketball being played, Casey. I mean, well done also to the New Zealand men's team winning silver at the 3x3 Asia Cup. And of course the Tall Blacks today with a good win at Asia Cup, a young Tall Blacks roster there with a big win over India.
Yeah, a little win, 100-47. Sam Meninga debuting with 21 points in that one. Congrats. Welcome to the club, young fella.
So plenty of action and plenty of basketball to whet the appetite for the fans up and down the length of the country. Michaela Cox, I think she maybe has just realised she's got to take this team by the scruff of the neck and carry them maybe for the next 5 or 6 minutes.
Oh, I love the footwork in there, use of the fake as well. Just pivoting around until she found the angle for the left-handed kiss off the glass. Couldn't lead to 6.
And she is good enough to carry a team. It won't be the first time she's done that in her long career. And they need stops, they need boards, and they need to score on the back of these stops.
Post action for Wolf.
Backs in and draws the foul. Rabati put the hands down.
The double arm hack. She could feel it coming. You could tell that she felt that was about to be an easy bucket, and instead makes Madison Wolf earn it from the stripe.
Madison Wolf had a very successful college career at the University of Wisconsin, Green Bay. 25-year-old, and her first professional experience was in Germany.
She just goes to the really nice clean countries, apparently.
She might have a few tips for Finn Delaney with that news announced today.
Congrats to Finn. There's been rumors floating around, but he has been searching for that next level, wanting to go to Europe for a few years now, and it's a fantastic coup for him to make it.
McBride, who's going to make this a winning performance, the Whai or the Kahu. Remember, the Kahu have not tasted defeat so far in Tauihi. And Clark through the traffic, plenty of contact there.
Well, a couple of hezzies on that, selling the Kahu defenders that she was going to go up with a jump shot, but she didn't settle. She decides to get herself right to the cup. And earn herself a trip to the Rosine. Hasn't shot the ball as well as she'd like up to this point in the game, but she is going to keep letting that one fly. Just 1 for 4 from the field, 1 for 3 from deep.
These are big moments for the Kahu. They have to try and find a way of slowing down the Whai. Jodie Cameron did call that timeout. Let's see if they can get another bucket. They look to be going to the post for Wolf. Kicks it back out again. Berry. Little crossover from Berry, and maybe wanted Wolf to keep running to the hoop there, but took the shot instead.
Yeah, she's in their scoring position, but was definitely looking to facilitate it. Got caught in between two worlds there.
Green. That one pass offense, one more pass for Clark from the corner. It was a good look.
Great rotation by the Kahu, though, on a string. Madison Wolf leaving Green after the pass to get out to contest.
Tupaia, too strong.
She gets the defender on that hip, and she gets down to the paint. She's so skilled with the finishes off the glass. That time with the left, she can finish with either, though.
Kahu just got themselves sorted defensively, it would seem, here the last couple of trips down the floor for the Whai, and that's what they've had to resort to. They get the long rebound. Lambert. McBride for the 3-ball. It's good.
Don McBride with the primal scream to get Lambert's attention to let her know she was wide open behind, and with good reason when you can stroke it like that.
Oh, Michaela Cox was sold a dummy by a teammate there. I'm here, I'm not.
So, got to keep an eye on that. Especially, got to keep an eye on the ball handler, especially with the defensive pressure of the Whai. They're sneaky. Sometimes they're really right up and in, but they're always in those passing lanes. So when available, you have to make sure you're ready for that pass to come your way.
It kind of feels like, Casey, it kind of feels like the Whai should be ahead by more.
It does.
Kahu hanging on, aren't they?
They've weathered the storm up to this point, but the question is this just the eye of the storm, or have they gone through the whole thing yet?
McGoldrick was headed up towards the hoop and drew some harm. Coleman Poto with the foul, and it's the turn of the Whai to get a few trips to the Rosine.
Well, that's a mistimed buzzer there. If I'm the shooter, I'm handing that ball back to the official if I'm already in my warm-up, saying, hold on now. He's trying to ice me here.
Home court buzzer. Makes the second.
Nikki Green heads to the bench. Sean Rabati checks back in.
So in that dangerous territory here with the margin, the deficit for the Kahu, it's at 8. You know, a couple of stops and a couple of scores, and suddenly they're right back in it. But likewise, if that happens for the Whai, that lead gets blown out. And they're just searching on the perimeter here. Michaela Cox into the corner. It's a good look for Tupaia.
Good patience on that's Crystal Ledger-Walker on the make there. Our angle is a little bit obscured. We've got a different commentary box than we normally do, but What a pass by Cox there, despite the defensive pressure to find Ledger Walker. And do they force a turnover? No, that's off the Kāhu. But the energy picks up. Every time they get a shot in, they do seem to pick up that defensive energy. It inspires them a little bit on the other side of the court.
And again, that margin that threatens to extend beyond what might be deemed reasonable is at 5 points. It's very achievable. Long rebound here, though, for the Whai.
Oh, good
Robati.
step.
Oh, wow.
Almost not quite a Euro, but the way she sidestepped the defender there to avoid all that contact and get the shot off cleanly, really impressive. Not to mention quick.
Michaela Cox gets to the top of the arc and shoots the three.
That's the shooter we expected here in New Zealand. Coming off the on-ball, defender goes under. It was a 2, just a little close to the line. Oh, she goes down hard. She puts her body on the line every single drive to the cup.
Yeah, there is. It's a small frame, but boy, I tell you what, there's some strength in there. You just have a look at the work that Kyra Lambert's put in the gym. She's got some shoulders, she's got some strength, but she's not physically the biggest player out there, but she's not frightened of it.
She's new to New Zealand, and I know she's small, but it looks to me like she's made up on Namu.
She really does bring a tough edge to her game as McBride sits, and Nikki Green, 31-year-old American, Penn State legend, and Lambert to the Rosine.
The stripe, not quite as kind to the Whai. 6 for 9 now. Where the Kāhu, 11 for 13. And gets 1 from the Rosine there. 6 points is about as big a lead as the Whai have been able to muster. Kāhu will always have a response in this first half. Too easy.
Yeah, it just opened up some good work by teammates, but there was little help there.
Oh, and the steal, Ledger Walker.
There's this, the quick turnover and back-to-back buckets. No, Grays couldn't make it, and then she fouls Green on the rebound.
What a rebound by Green, coming back in to save a possession. Grays might have thought she was going to get a bit more work than that, but didn't get a chance at the offensive rebound after the miss, negating the advantage of the Ledger Walker steal.
2 minutes left to play in the first half. The Whai looking to draw level with the Kāhu at the top of the GJ Gardner Tauihi. Lambert inside. Rabadi stolen away by Michaela Cox.
Great post though. I love the way Sean Rabadi. She doesn't settle for a 7-footer. She's going to get in next to 2. She's just backing the defender down, dribbling it in. Michaela Cox saw that, helped out her teammate. It's definitely saved the bucket as we have a timeout to the Whai.
It's still, I think, of the two coaches, I wonder if Jodie Cameron, if the margin is 4 or less, certainly going into the halftime break, I get the feeling she's going to be the happier of the two coaches here. They just look like a team that hasn't quite found their rhythm, the Kāhu, but they are hanging tough.
Well, make no mistake, they're not playing well offensively, certainly not as well as they can. They're losing the rebound battle. 4 turnovers is not too bad, but it's the shooting right now. 9 for 29, just not getting the ball in despite the quality looks. The three-point shot is starting to get a little hotter, but of those 29 shots, just 8 of them threes. They're 2 for 8 from deep there. Checking out those stats for the Whai on the other side. They are shooting 41% from the field, 4 for 13 from deep with those 21 rebounds, but 5 of them on the offensive end, which is giving them a couple of extra shots in this one. Balanced scoring for the Whai though. All 5 starters have scored at least 6 points. And with just Ezra McGoldrick chipping in off the bench. The Whai, for the Kāhu, however, it's two-way traffic. Kalia Tupaya, 11 points. Michaela Cox, 10. Nobody else in the squad is more than 3.
And Ledger Walker, 1 of 7 in that successful basket was a 3-ball, but she's just not found her shooting range, often been under huge pressure. Lambert, look how quick she turns. Oh, that is stunning off the glass.
Not the kiss. Oh my, how about that? That is a heck of a shot being made there. I'm pretty sure she called it.
The scout just has to alert you to the speed of Lambert off that catch. She is just like a little rocket ship. There's a tumble
collision
at half court.
Thankfully, Nikki Green didn't fall directly on top of Tauihi.
Meanwhile, a little game of 4v4, and Rabadi says, I'll enjoy the extra space.
We're going to get a mop out to get the moppets out to come and take care of things.
Well, this now is a big 73 seconds, isn't it, for the Kāhu?
8 points, biggest lead of the game up to this point. They're coming back on offense. A bucket here would relieve some stress, but yeah, I do feel like if they can go in down 5, they're going to have a little bit of confidence. But if the lead stretches out, if they get another bucket or 2, it stretches to double digits. That is going to be a huge momentum swing. And when this Whai squad has momentum, they really turn the screws then.
So this little break might favour the Kāhu as the Whai were again on one of these rapid scoring sort of 30-second spells that they have that ability to go back-to-back with buckets very quickly.
Well, thankfully, the second mopper has come up now. There we go. We can get a few. Where's the feet? Let's get going here.
There's the footwork. I don't know, Casey.
Got to get down there and scrum.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
The foot doesn't work.
Commitment, I don't know.
Players can come in with their shoes and wipe up a little bit of sweat with the feet, but hey, if you're getting a free ticket on the baseline there, you got to get a little bit of elbow grease in it.
Bend that back. But the kids do a great job. The volunteers at the GJ Gardner Tauihi, all of them. And great to have the involvement of some of the floor wipers who might aspire to play in this competition in the not too distant future. What have the Kāhu got? Ledger Walker, Michaela Cox from the corner for 3. Too much on it. Rebound is good for Grays.
Oh, nice pass as well.
Back under the reverse. Great finish. Here they come.
Kelahu Fulu able to do the reverse to avoid the size of Nikki Green. What an excellent job, because Nikki Green is tough to stop. Do we have a
Sky City
player timeout? Sky City player timeout on the floor. Just a little quick review of the rules of this great initiative that the Tauihi League has brought in this season. Only the player in possession of the ball can call a player timeout. Each team gets 1 per half, and you can't talk to your coaches, although I have seen a few coaches try and tip in a little bit of activity from the sidelines. They're quick, they're just 30 seconds, so we're going to be active the action quickly, but a real opportunity for not just the coaches, but the players to get their mindsets into the strategy, discuss things, know exactly what you're running in. I think the teams that use it best are doing it like this, down the stretch of the half. You have 1 possession, let's really get this one right. We gotta use it before we use it, or before we lose it, so might as well use it now.
Yeah, talk about it, run a play, and take that control. I hear you though, Casey, about some of the coaches. It's going to be a brave referee, but when are we going to see a tech called on a coach for contributing to one of those Sky City player timeouts?
I'm just impressed with the rule. Trying to tell coaches they can't coach is amazing.
The 3 ball, no good, comes up short. Now this is the opportunity for the Kāhu. They can run the clock down a little here. There's about 7 or 8 seconds difference, shot clock and game clock.
They found a way again. They're able to defend, and just like when it was looking like it was getting out of touch, they've got a chance to bring it back within touch distance.
McGoldrick can't stay on the shoulder of Tauihi, and she just shuffles her way through. What deception.
That first step is exactly right, deceptively quick. She is able to blow by defenders, and then when she gets a defender on her hip, that little hook shot was amazing.
Lambert, can she repeat the dose at the other end? McBride, the corner 3, that would hurt the Kāhu. Can't tip it back in Green. And the Kāhu somehow are finding a way to stay in contact and stay in touch. And they're doing it through grit and determination, and on the back of really 2 players through their scoring efforts, Tauihi and Michaela Cox. When we come back in just a moment or 2, we'll have a look at the numbers, we'll dissect it, we'll talk about it. But for now, at half-time, it is the Whai, the visitors, who are on top 39-35.
Get to the buckets, and finally make sure that you stay hydrated. And just make some noise for these 2 teams here. Make some noise! I think she struggles
had a couple like that. Yeah, like, we've had it like that in the stadium before, but it was because the pipe went on. And it goes straight to Burger. Yeah, it's not live, it goes straight through to us. So I was talking with that. That's that.
Beautiful sequence generation on the court. Let's go, girls, let's go. Get focused, get focused.
You're going to bring it all the way up. Maybe ring 2? Is Gabby Adams Gavitt not on the score sheet? Oh, sorry.
Well, welcome back to Eventfinda Stadium. The kids getting their chance at half-time to get out on the hardwood and having a lot of fun. Good crowd in attendance here too on a weeknight, but it is school holidays, of course. So the main action between the Kāhu and the Whai is close. And we've kind of been wondering how, but really they've just found a way. They've got stops when they needed to, and they've found the bottom of the bucket, courtesy largely of Michaela Cox and Talia Tupaia. Andrew Dewhurst with you alongside Casey Frank as we have a look at the tail of the tape here at halftime, Casey, and explore some of the numbers. And there's our scorers. The Whai are spreading the scoring load, aren't they?
Yeah, they're spreading it out. Everybody's getting involved, but still led by Kyra Lambert and her aggressiveness on the ring. Sean Rabati, great support. Talia Tupaia, fantastic with that 13. Taking a look at the rebounds, you see the dominance of Kyra Lambert. Look at that point guard getting in there, 7 rebounds. Nikki Green with 7 as well. A group effort for the Kāhu. This, guess who at the top again? Kyra Lambert.
Shall we start that conversation? Triple-double watch?
Triple-double watch, most definitely. She's right there. I'll tell you what, tonight, I'd be surprised if she doesn't get it. There you see the blocks from the Goldrick and Rabati, a couple of big ones, and Naz Kalahipuhu also on the list. And the activity defensively with the steals, one of the aspects the Kāhu have been able to use to be able to keep this game within touch distance. And overall, it's been the shooting from that free throw line. We've mentioned a couple of times the Kāhu 11 for 13 from the stripe. They're just 2 for 10 from deep, but they've got early rebound advantage has been turned around. It's 23 rebounds to 19. But both teams doing well on the offensive glass. 5 for the Kāhu, 6 for the Whai.
So it really is an arm wrestle. We thought it would be close. There's certainly a bit of feeling. There's been plenty of action and some of the screen action out there, plenty of physicality. But it is very close. The Whai have just never been able to break the back here of the Kāhu. And consequently, the conversations in the dressing rooms will be still nervous ones from both Mel Bennett and Jodie Cameron. Who will take the win? Who will either stay on top or go to the top of GJ Gardner Tauihi? We'll find out with the second half coming up in just a moment or two. Welcome back to Eventfinda Stadium. Andrew Dewhurst with you alongside Casey Frank as we take you through this table-topping encounter in the GJ Gardner Tauihi. And Michaela Cox has been an influence for her Kāhu team. Can she exert an even bigger influence to claw back this 4-point margin and make it 4 from 4 at the start of their season? Or will the Whai draw level at 3-1 at the top of the table? Casey Frank, what do the Kāhu? Let's explore their options first. What do they do to improve their offensive output?
Well, offensively, I think that they can find a little bit of success in transition. So if they can get a couple of stops and push the ball that way, but they have to find a way to penetrate this defense. When they're stuck on the perimeter passing it around and not getting any penetration either with the dribble or the pass, the shots that they're attempting are extremely difficult. When they do get that penetration, it makes it much easier.
Yeah, do they look for switches to get different defenders on the shoulder of Tauihi, who's so strong on the drive?
It's just about creating some type of advantage for her. I'd prefer that she doesn't have to do it all by herself from the point of attack, just one-on-one, an on-ball screen or coming up some action so she can curl to the hoop, I think would be valuable for her. But, you know, when you got a scorer like that, let's just put it in her hands and see what can happen. She puts pressure on defenders left, right, and center.
And what about the Whai? They're sharing the scoring loads. Who's the likely leader in that sense for them to get them over the line?
Well, you know, I think they could really probably take more advantage of Sean Rabati and Nikki Green on the interior. They're just 4 for 15 from the stripe, but for two-pointers, they're shooting over 50%, 10 for 19 at 52%. So when they do get inside the key or inside that three-point line, especially on those drives or the extra pass, they're scoring at a much higher percentage. And that's what I'd be looking to do, try and do inside out instead of outside in.
Now, of course, the Whai had that explosive third quarter, didn't they, against the Hoi, and that was largely on the back of Sean Rabati being so strong in the paint.
Yeah, if Sean Rabati is able to find a couple of mismatches here and there, she really can take advantage of them in the post. It's not so bad when she's playing against a player her own size, but the offensive sets at the Whai tend to force a lot of switches, a lot of help, and when she does get that switch, she punishes it.
We're a couple of rounds in, we're a few games in for most teams. Do you like what you're seeing, Casey? We're seeing improvement as these rosters figure each other out. You know, there'll be a lot of scouting going on, of course, but I wonder if they're more focused internally, all of these teams at the moment, to try and figure out what their identity is.
Yeah, I think that's part of it, certainly, and you got to figure out the rotations, as some teams have been losing players to the 3x3 as well, and haven't had everybody at all times. You know, there's a lot of aspects to this competition that you do have to get used to. It's a very condensed competition. You know, the Kāhu play tonight, and they're playing again on Friday. You're going to have to find the way to best utilize those deep groups. But in terms of the quality of the product, I've been extremely impressed just at the way that these teams have been able to hit the ground running. Despite some hiccups here or there in the scoring, it has been entertaining game in, game out. Yeah,
I mean, the one thing I'm fascinated with is the development of the imports, because for the Men's National League, it's been happening for years, bringing imports in, but that's not been the case in the women's game here. So finding that right level of imports and what they're going to bring to your team, and the level of this league, is we're seeing one of the superstars there kicking it out. Clark with the 3-ball comes up a little short, and the foul on the play on Rabati. But you know, finding that right quality of imports this season and next is going to be fascinating.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's not just about can they score all the points, because that's not how you build a winning culture. And all these teams, they're at the foundation level of their culture building experience. You need imports that come in and certainly carry some of the load, but also share some of it and share their knowledge of the game. I think that's the most important part, not just for the top level players, not for the tall ferns but these teams all have high school players, that next generation of hooper on there, and they're learning a lot of lessons very quickly.
Craze with the long two, and Lambert fighting for the boards. You got little and large there, Lambert and Green, both with the same steely determination.
Jump ball is called, 6 with the Kāhu. Lambert, does she get credit for that rebound? Because she's one step closer to the triple-double watch we're talking about, if so.
We'll keep an eye on it. I got all carried away with this the other day. Now you calm down, okay? We've got a long way to go.
Well, this one's actually realistic. I mean, you were talking about triple-double watch. I think we were 4 assists, man.
Oh, smack me down. Michaela Cox short on the jump shot. Grays, Tauihi with the handoff, shoots the 3 ball. Talia Tauihi, and on the rebound, it's good from Wolf.
Offensive rebounding, that is an area that they haven't done a ton of damage. But Madison Wolf is in the right place, right time, and gets herself going a little bit. See if that can ignite her scoring touch.
Just remind me, Kyra Lambert, what were her halftime numbers, Casey? I think already there in scoring, but rebounds and assists, she was close.
I think she was under 5, and one of them was a beautiful layup by Cox on that one, able to avoid defenders and flip it up with the left. Take another look at it, kicks ahead, and look at that little scoop shot, and we just missed a 3-point shot going up, but it was off as we check out the replay. Quick transition to the offense there by the Whai, unsurprisingly, as Cox has tied things up.
11-7-6 for Lambert at the moment, 11-7-6 as we keep an eye on that. So Kahu have started well in this third quarter, and they'll want to. They're just leveling it up and a bit of energy in the gym.
Yeah, lifted the defensive intensity, certainly. They're rotating with a little bit more vigor and shutting down these driving lanes. Really active on the box outs as well.
Tauihi, McBride with the defensive duties, then Green there to help out. They are certainly closing that lane down. She finds room for the shot though. Oh my goodness.
Just so skilled and so patient. She never looks rushed. She plays at her own speed, and despite that solid defensive effort by Dom McBride, she was able to drop that one as well.
Australian under-19 international, Michaela Cox, bit of a foot trip there, accidental, but a foul nonetheless on Lambert. Talia Tauihi with 140 WNBL games, most recently with Canberra. And she has been already at this early stage of the GJ Gardner Tauihi, a great signing by the Kahu. Lambert, shot clock down to 4. Green has to put it up, comes up short.
Great form though. She consistently looks like the jumper's going in and the unforced error.
Just turning it over when they're just trying to build that momentum. Well, they have the momentum, really, the Kahu.
Just the 5th turnover as a team. They forced 7 on the Whai, so that's a great job to have 5 turnovers at this point in the third quarter. That's right about where you want to be. And when you're able to get the ball in the hands of a player like Talia Tauihi, that might be enough, but wasn't able to hold on to it there. Oh, and a backcourt violation.
So one turnover is quickly followed by another, so they return serve in the worst possible way.
Is that the saying, one bad turnover deserves another? Is it that, or is that, am I thinking of something else? It could be anything.
That's the book of philosophy, not the book of basketball. But they did not take advantage of the gift that they were given. Tauihi, McBride, good day. Just kept the arms straight up, stayed vertical, and then draws the foul off Tauihi, and she is frustrated, remonstrating with the officials.
You know, I like that matchup of Dom McBride on Talia Tauihi. She's got the size to really bother her when she gets onto the interior, and enough quickness to stay with her on the perimeter. I wonder if they might try and stick with that one a little bit more often instead of getting to the switch.
They are yet to find a bucket in this third quarter. Oh, heavy contact here. Wolf has taken a shoulder. It's friendly fire, and this was a massive shoulder, accidental, straight into the jaw of Wolf, and she's up again already. Boom! Oh, if you're playing for the All Blacks, that's sent off 3-week suspension.
Hopefully, I didn't see any blood pooling down there, so hopefully nothing too bad, but yeah, that's definitely the nose. That could be a break.
Oh, I'm just glad that she's up so quickly, because that looked dangerous.
Make them tough in Wisconsin. Apparently, I don't know. That's what Kirk Penny said when he came back.
You can't talk about Wisconsin without Kirk Penny coming into the conversation, can you?
New Zealand, baby.
No, absolutely. Ledger Walker. And a lovely little dish there for Kailahifulu.
showing the skill on the cut, and they've got is this their first lead of the ball game since the opening bucket?
Yeah, early on they did have that 2-point lead. That was it, and they've now extended here. This is an 8-point run to start the third.
Oh, that is not what the Whai expected. We spoke at halftime that they come out and they've been dominating third quarters, but the Kahu have found another level. They have stepped it up, brought that defensive intensity, and are playing a physical brand of basketball. I'm really impressed with the defensive end. They are jumping into passing lanes, forcing players off the post, forcing the catches to be outside that three-point line 2 or 3 meters, and really forcing the Whai out of their offense. They just don't have that same level of comfort they had in the first half.
So again, it's cliche, but that's where it starts, isn't it? Your offense starts with your defense, and that's what's leading to the better looks at the other end as well.
Absolutely. You can't really get great scoring opportunities if you're always taking the ball out of the net. And it cuts down the transition opportunities for sure, and it also just, your confidence isn't great offensively if you just keep getting scored on. You pump up on one end, come down to the other, the ball starts bouncing your way. A little defensive karma coming right back at you.
Well, what have the Whai got in response to this third quarter onslaught, really? An 8-point run, and I'm just trying to recall, I'm pretty sure the Kāhu finished the second quarter with a bucket or two, so...
Ooh, could have been a travel there. Instead, foul on Ledger Walker. Nikki Green ran back into the play to be the release foul, but on the catch, looked like she took a couple of big steps. Fire pretty happy not to see that 8-point run turn into a 10-point run with the turnover there.
The Kāhu bench was up as one. It was right in front of them. And they agreed with you, KC. They thought there was a little step or two. Is that Vucinic getting her first minutes?
That is in the second half. Checking in for Tiana Clark.
And involved straight away. Something of a 3-point specialist. She will find her spots and look to shoot the 3-ball. Lambert might be the one to find her.
Good luck.
Oh, a little up fake, kicks it out again. Good patience, McGoldrick. That is great basketball.
Well, great choice by Vucinic not to shoot that shot. She'd been in the game for about 2 seconds. That was her first touch, but puts it down, penetrates that defense once again, forces them to adjust, and finds McGoldrick on the perimeter. Ooh, Marta Graves went down with a leg injury there. It was accidental as Ezra McGoldrick fell down and right into the side. I'm not sure if that's an ankle. Yeah, it looks like she's tying the shoe a little bit tighter.
Yeah, just the left ankle as we have a look on the GJ. Oh, this is the score at the other end. Great GJ Gardner replay.
Penetration right into the middle of the paint, forcing that weak side defense to come in and giving McGoldrick a ton of space. Grays, a little worse for wear, but always good to see a player walking.
She heads to the sideline, though, to get some attention.
Well, hopefully just need a bit of an ankle strapping and she'll get back out there. She hasn't had a huge effect on the score sheet, but she does have 4 rebounds and a couple assists in her 20 minutes.
It's a concern, though, isn't it? You know, right on the back of Wolf having to go with that knock to the nose.
Well, Wolf's coming back. That's just a nose. You can play with a crooked nose. it's fine. Breathe through your mouth. You'll be good.
Michaela Cox. Kailahi Fulu was the intended recipient of the pass, but guess who?
Well,
Lambert.
On the switch as well, giving up size, didn't matter.
There is Vucinic with the 3-ball, and they get a long rebound, didn't catch the rim, so shot clock down to 8. McBride.
Good defense by Tupaya.
Lambert has to get a shot up here. Passes it, McBride. A bit of a hospital pass, wasn't it, with about 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
Has the whistle stopped? Is play still going?
Yeah, well, referee, I'm just looking because we have another player down. Just can't see at the bottom of our screen.
It was Don McBride. It was on the shot. It looked like on the box out something happened.
She lost her landing area and come down and twisted an ankle. She's not happy.
Yeah, it did look like immediately she did not have the space. No foul called, and hopefully this injury is not too serious because she would be a huge. Oh, well, that is a bad sign.
She doesn't want to put any weight on that ankle, does she?
Well, this is quite the opposite to Marta Graves going to the bench. She is not putting any weight on that whatsoever.
Well, let's hope that it's out of fear at the moment rather than completely out of pain or knowing that she's done some real damage. They'll have a look, they'll check her out, but that does not look good for Dom McBride. So we've seen 2 Kāhu players leave under an injury cloud, and now Dom McBride for the Whai. So some adjustments having to be made on the fly by both rosters. Tauihi and Cox, the 2 leaders of this team. Ledger Walker kicks it out. Michaela Cox all alone, and when you leave her all alone, that's what she does to you.
Beautiful offense, though. The ball's going side to side, inside the paint, back outside, flip back to the weak side, really forcing the Whai defense to adjust time and time again until they broke it.
Oh, Lambert left all alone as well. They sagged off and got away with it, the Kāhu.
Good look. Looked like it was good, but just didn't have the distance.
Tauihi steps in, and McGoldrick gets a piece of the ball. Tauihi says, how about the fact she broke my hand?
Might have been a little bit of arm as well, that ball in there.
Turned over, though.
Oh, Lambert with the unforced error, drying the hands off. Looks like it might have slipped out of the hand. And it's the Kāhu. They get a chance to make a move here with McBride on the bench and looking like she might not return. This is a real opportunity for the Kāhu to close this quarter strong.
Well, we're coming out 6 minutes played in the quarter and 3 points only for the Whai. Ledger Walker can't get it to drop.
That's a miss that really breaks the back and gives the opposition a bit of confidence. Oh, it's not the right angle on the pass. Had to loft that one in a little bit. Great post up by Green, had great position. Just need to put a little bit of air under it so the center can catch up to the pass instead of trying to chase out a bullet.
And Casey, it's the increase that you talked about in the intensity of the D, because the Whai, that's 3, if not 4 turnovers.
That's 5 turnovers this half, actually.
They get a rebound here. Rabadi kicks it out for Lambert. It's 2 on 3, though. She'll slow this down, check back out. Rabadi was trailing. Lambert directing traffic now, what she's setting up here.
Looking for Rabadi in the post, but solid defense by Kalahifulu.
McGoldrick will shoot the 3.
Good look, and Nikki Green had great position. That's why I like that shot, but just the awkward bounce gives it back to the Kāhu.
Tauihi off the foot. Ledger Walker drives through the lane and draws the foul. She'll go to the Rosine.
A fortunate pass there. Puts her in a scoring opportunity.
Crystal Ledger Walker out of St. Peter's College in Cambridge, came through the Waikato program, and then at 142 NCAA Div 1 games, started 139 of them, Casey, for Northern Colorado and Washington State.
Makes the first from the Rosine, which I'm sure she did quite a few times. Of course, her mother's an assistant coach and one of the legends.
And am I right, did she go to Washington State and play with her sister?
She did. Her sister came and joined her a couple years in. Still got a little bit of eligibility left.
Clark now for the Whai. This is a big turnaround in the context of this match. As Casey Frank alluded to, the only lead the Kāhu had was courtesy of the very first bucket of the game, but they've turned that around. They now lead by 6 in the closing stages of the third.
But just dominant in this quarter defensively, outscoring the Whai 11-3 up to this point. They are just strangling the life out of this unit.
Clark will try and claw the back into it from the Rosine. Tiana Clark is 1 of 8 from the field, so struggling to find buckets from the floor, but makes both from the free throw line. Let's see if the Kāhu can maintain that great offense in and out.
Talia Tauihi is just so aware of the defenders that are marking her. When she gets that catch, she can feel if she's got that rip through, she instantly does on that possession. McGoldrick's on her hip, and it's game over at that point. She's going to get to the bucket, either get the bucket or get to the stripe, and it's another trip to the Rosine for her. And she is just loading up the points to this point. 5 for 5 now. 16 points total. Make it 6 for 6.
No one in too much foul trouble either. Just looking through the numbers here, Ledger Walker is 3 personal fouls. I'm not sure that anyone else has matched her on that number yet. Green, Clark, what a great cut to the basket, kicks it out. And just couldn't get the pass up off the floor to find room for the shot. Clark. Baseline, kick it out again. They've got to get that up. That was just shot clock pressure. And again, Casey, you've talked about it. Defensive intensity from the Kāhu.
Every possession, they've got to use the full 24 just because they're not getting any clean looks. Much easier for the Kāhu at this end throughout the quarter.
Oh, Kelman Porter almost threw that back over the half court. Ledger Walker, Rabati in front of her, which makes it kind of hard to shoot. Michaela Cox steps in and does not get the roll. Kailahi Fulu, though, she's been good off the bench.
Oh, foul called on Sean Rabati. Looked like it was mostly ball, but not much of an argument as she picks up her 3rd personal foul.
Kailahi Fulu will go to the Rosine and looking for her 5th and possibly 6th point of the night, and there's the 5th. So she's been good value. A couple of rebounds and a handful of points off the bench for the Kāhu. Makes them both.
Well, in the first half, it was the Rosine that kept them in the ball game, but in this 3rd quarter, it's the Rosine that's helping them pull away. Largest lead of the contest, 8 points. And now it's the Phi's turn. 2 minutes left. They have to find a way to get the ball in the bucket to respond to this fantastic quarter by the Kāhu.
Lambert, it was a bit of a lazy swipe by Kailahi Fulu initially, and Lambert's taken some contact here. And we've got players disappearing off the floor like crazy.
Thankfully, she's up more quickly. I think she just went down really hard on the elbow, possibly the knee there.
Might have got a second, just a hand across the face there from Kailahi Fulu, who came back for a second crack.
Yeah, if you're going to get the foul, you might as well get a good one. But you know, Lambert is going to get a towel, wipe off a little bit, clean up just slightly. But man, she is driving to that cup with reckless abandon. You got a long career ahead of you. You take care of the body. You might want to put some knee pads on, maybe some hip pads, elbows. I don't know. Pad up.
And they need these free throws, don't they, to just stay in contact. As you said, it's kind of absolute reversal of the first half.
100%. It was the Kāhu chasing the entirety, but they have found something in that halftime break. They are looking to continue to milk towards the conclusion of the game.
Ledger Walker. McGoldrick has been good at both ends of the floor for the Whai. Michaela Cox looking to facilitate. Adams Gavitt is just bundled down over the baseline.
Macadash, a physical player, gets that bump and forces to the ground. And that's going to be free throws from here on out.
This is always had the feeling right from the get-go that there is a bit in this. They're fiercely competitive, these two teams. Should be. It's good to see, nice to see. Every now and then the players just squaring off against each other. It's how it should be at the top level. Adams Gavitt misses the first and the second is long. That's a rebound, Michaela Cox.
Oh, that's a crusher for the Whai. That was a huge couple of misses. Now if they get a bucket here. Oh, what a block by Nikki Green.
And gets it again.
And bringing it up the court. The skill shown.
Great intervention from the American. Here's her countrywoman, Lambert. Oh, a hand in there from Tupaia. She doesn't like the call.
That could be a bit of foul trouble on her. That is her third personal that she picks up there. So a little concern for the leading scorer in the game with 17. Nice post up by Nikki Green there. And she will head to Lambert, delivering it well once again.
And you talk about the imports, Casey, and we spoke about finding good ones and the qualities. I mean, there's a little snapshot. You've got an American big who's blocking a shot, grabbing a rebound, and same play down the floor, she's posting up. So putting in the work at both ends of the floor.
And has cut it back to 4 points. What a response from the Whai to close the quarter. Can they keep it going with some defense on this possession? Another foul. And it's just possession after possession where the Whai just cannot keep their hands out of the cookie jar.
And this is Michaela Cox now, who will go to the Rosine.
17 for 21 from the line are the Kahu. That is a tremendous percentage, but that is a lot of trips to the line. The Whai have to find a way to play better defense without committing those fouls. And here in the third quarter, the offensive rebounding, also a great response from halftime for the Kahu. 10 of them in the game, picking up an extra 5 just in this quarter.
5 of 6 is Michaela Cox from the line. 6 of 7 now. Final 60 seconds of the third quarter, and the game very much still in the balance, but it's the Kāhu who have turned things around in this quarter. Lambert gets to her spot, can't make it. Ledger Walker with the rebound. Steady offensive set here, knowing how crucial this is. The contact there from McGoldrick on Tupaia.
Sold well by Kale Tupaia. I don't think there was all that much physicality in it, but when she felt the contact, she bounced off of it. And that's another foul.
Another trip to the line.
I'll tell you what, Rosine's pleased with the sponsorship tonight.
Absolutely.
They are getting their money's worth. Trip after trip.
Are we in bonus territory? Are they paying a bonus now beyond 20 trips?
I don't know, but they might want to give a couple of bonuses to players for fouls. little side contracts for players.
And certainly these free throws are just extending that margin again.
Could only get the one at that time. First miss of the ball game for Tupaia.
Putting some pressure on up the floor here to the Kāhu. About 6 seconds difference, shot clock and game clock. Lambert brings the ball down the floor. Nothing too much on at the moment, just continues the exploration and eventually turns it over.
Well, there's one thing about this defense I've seen from the Kāhu in the third quarter. They're not going to let any player for the Whai do it on their own. And Lambert there tried to put it on her shoulders, but too much attention, especially once she got to the key to get that done.
Shot clock is now off for the Kāhu. Tupaia a long way downtown. It looked pretty good too. I'm not sure though. Don't they want to just take some time, get a good look? Anyway, that is the end of the third quarter, and a very impressive quarter it was for the Kāhu. They've turned a 4-point deficit into a 7-point lead going into the final quarter here at Eventfinda. It's the Kāhu 55, the Whai 48. Welcome back. Top of the table clash in the GJ Gardner Tauihi, and it is a thriller. It's living up to the billing, as it is very much in the balance. Andrew Dewhurst with you at Eventfinda Stadium alongside Casey Frank. And we've seen one turnaround. We've seen a couple of shifts in momentum. No reason to think we can't see another one for the Whai, but they've got to change. What do they have? 9 points in that quarter.
9 points, outscored 20-9 by the Kahu. You know, maybe some of these injuries to the bigs showed the Kahu a little way they could go by accident. You know, sometimes necessity is the mother of invention. And sending the bigs to the bench has increased the speed of the Kahu defensively. They've been much more active in the passing lanes. They've had enough physicality to fight off the Whai on the interior, which is where I thought the Whai would have a really big advantage this evening. But up to this point, it hasn't come to fruition because of the work rate of the Kahu. They just have refused to be outworked, and they've picked it up offensively as this game has gone along.
Now, defensively, they stepped it up, and you described it perfectly, but was the ball getting a little stuck in the hands of Lambert? No assists in that quarter.
I think as much as that, it was that they were taking away those options for her. They're really sending a lot more defenders her way, especially when she comes off the on-ball. But that can change really quickly if she can get a couple more penetrations, draw those defenders. She's an extremely willing passer. But no assists in the quarter and just the 2 points. So they certainly had her circled at halftime.
The Whai will want to start quickly in this final quarter. Lambert for Green. Look at the movement, the energy from the Kāhu. Inside for Green. Great cut to the basket and the and one opportunity.
Well, that's great offense. And we didn't see that at all in the third quarter from the Whai, but they came out of that quarter break extremely deliberate. And we do see, just a reminder, Don McBride down with that injury. She's down on the far side of the bench. She does not look like she's returning whatsoever. So they're going to have to do it down one import. It makes it a little bit tougher, but still doable as Nikki Green completes the three-point play from the Razine. And that is exactly the response the Whai wanted to begin with. Now, they have to capitalize on this end.
Michaela Cox, it was a great pass. It was a great cut, and somehow she gets it back again. And the Whai certainly can't afford to give them second chance looks like that, let alone a foul. And Michaela Cox will go to Razine.
The Whai are just being too aggressive on the ball. They're up and in. They're concerned about a three-point shot that's just not falling right now. The Kāhu are 3 for 13 from deep. That's not the problem. They're closing out on these guys like the shots shooting at 80%, but they need to close out a little bit short and stay on those strong hand driving, because right now the perimeter players on those deep closeouts are slicing and dicing defense as it comes to them.
And Casey, always for me one of the signs of a great player and their ability to influence a game. Michaela Cox has just quietly gone about her business. 17 points
just
so far.
Tidy 17 to go along with, 6 rebounds, a couple of assists. She's got a steal in there. Now she's a gamer. She's doing the work and giving great support to Talia Tupaya, who's the leading scorer with 18. Well, now they're both on 18, so Michaela Cox might just be asking Talia Tupaya for some support from here on in.
When they are dominating, next highest scorer for the Kāhu is 5 points, Major Walker.
It's two-way action. The entire offense is dependent on them and some contributions of the timely nature from the rest of their teammates.
Clark, and look at this
Great
hustle.
defense.
Look at this D. Lambert, though, breaks them open.
Oh, what a pass.
And Clark was cutting to the basket. Great D, though.
Great block. Unbelievably well timed.
Michaela Cox was off to the races. Tupaya puts that shoulder down and instigated the contact, wanted the call, no whistle.
Should have concentrated on the shot. She wanted that call, but she certainly was the instigator, as you mentioned.
McGoldrick and turns and rebound. Tupaya.
She could have easily got an offensive foul there. I'm quite surprised that wasn't called. She extended that forearm to clear the space. And he got off lightly on that one. Getting a little frustrated from the contact, though.
Very fortunate. Grays is back on the floor. Grays and Wolf, remember, both going off with injury for the Kāhu.
Gabby Adams-Gavitt, fantastic hustle to track down that rebound.
Tupaya Shot clock down to 5. Almost a repeat on the offensive foul. And is this the make-up call from the other end?
Different official that was positioned on it, but it was the same thing. It's that left arm she's extending, trying to clear that space. She feels the contact, and she's trying to give it to her. And that is her 4th personal foul with 8 minutes to go in this one. And this is a decision for Coach Jody Cameron. What is she going to do? Is she going to leave her out there? A timeout. I like it. Timeout, chance to think about it.
Or is no, it's just a sub. No, Dash has just come in for the Whai, but I've got to suggest that the way that Talia Tupai is playing a little hot-headed at the moment, that I don't know if you can risk leaving her out there.
Well, there's going to be a lot of contact. The ball's going to be going through her hands. But long discussion here. Let's get back to the action. We could talk to the coaches after the game.
Yeah,
the explanation was quick enough.
If nothing else, though, Jody Cameron has just taken the heat out of the moment. So, but Talia Tupai is still on the floor with those 4 fouls.
Looks like Olivia Berry is going to come in as Michaela Cox picks up the foul. Not in foul trouble, just her 2nd personal. And I think Berry will be coming in for Tupai. Yeah, that is, I think, the right decision by Jody Cameron and the coaching staff for the Kāhu.
And now, with that lead at 5, the Kāhu play that tricky game. They're walking the tightrope. When do they put her back out there? The 3 ball is on the way, and that will assist Jody Cameron. In fact, there's a foul called here, is there?
Dash. Using her size down low to get that box out attempt by I didn't see which Kāhu player got pinged for the foul, but they were completely outclassed in the strength department.
I think it was Gray, so I'm not sure, but I thought it might have been Gray's.
She was trying her mightiest to push Dash out of the way. It just had no chance. And quickness. Oh, Lambert. I thought that was, she lost that ball, but no, it was a foul. No, not a foul. No,
just over the baseline.
Sorry, I couldn't see it from the angle, but another unforced error for Kyra Lambert. This has been a tough 2nd half for her.
Just at times, just looks like she's looking for a little too much speed, and one thing, but trying to play the game at too quick a pace, if that makes sense on occasion. As the Kāhu get the roll for another bucket for Ledger Walker. Lambert again with that speed.
Oh, her body's got a mismatch in the post. I would get it right down into her.
And they don't. They kick it out for McGoldrick. Now they go to Rabati. That's the foul is called on Berry.
Yeah, Olivia Berry was a little bit outsized on that one, but able to get the foul probably good. Took away the bucket. And the cross-court pass was the entry pass because they had that fronting action by Berry, and the weak side was there. They had to skip it across, and Rabati follows it, gets herself into position. And we're in bonus for the rest of the way. That's the 5th personal foul on the Kāhu. So this really in the favor of the Whai. Rosine appearances for the rest of the game.
If they can make them.
That is the key.
Kind of crucial. Rabati misses the first, but that's a long time, 7 minutes in the penalty, isn't it?
It is. That's early in this quarter. Whai have been a bit more aggressive going to the rim, and now a chance to set up a little bit of full court press.
Ledger Walker. The lead is still comfortable, by no means comprehensive. Cox pulls up with the shooter.
Yeah. That is a pure move, just too much space. Nikki Green and drops there. Michaela Cox gets to 17, lets it fly, and watch the drop.
Lambert, Clark into McGoldrick. Good D from Grays, but McGoldrick somehow finds a way.
That's a solid post move, despite the contact. In the midst of a double team, very patient, takes the steadying dribble for the make.
Remember, Talia Tupai is sitting at the moment with 4 fouls for the Kāhu. She will come back at some stage. How long do they leave her off the floor, though? Rabati, and now Green.
Well, I'd be aiming for about 4 minutes if this lead stays about the same, but if the lead closes, I'd be getting her in immediately.
Rabati in the post, kicks it out. Clark, this would be huge. It's too big.
Just such a great look. Nice pass by Rabati to the weak side, but Tiana Clark struggling from deep, and you called it. Jody Cameron said, you got your minute. You've calmed down. Get out there. You got another 6. Stop fouling.
So Talia Tupaia just off camera, and you'll see her in a moment because I have no doubt she'll have her hands on the basketball shortly. She's back on the floor. She has to play with a little more control, and she did look at times as though she was getting frustrated. Kaman Poto into the paint, good finish.
Good footwork. Going one direction, Nikki Green tried to stop it, and then the step through for the scoop shot on the other end. Great to see Ash Kaman Poto influence the game here.
That 8-point lead is re-established. Both teams have had that margin. I'm not sure that either has got out to a double digits. Rapati, how strong? Bucket counts.
Who was that foul on? Who is it that went to the ground there? I didn't see exactly, but
Kaman
Poto, because Talia Tupaia was in the vicinity. That could have been disastrous. But man, Sean Rabati refused to be denied on that play there. She's starting to creep up the scoring charts with her. She's got 13 now.
And one play is good. Again, these two teams, neither has been able to completely kick clear of the other. The Kāhu, though, have to be favourites from here with 5 minutes to play.
It's all clutch minutes now. 5 minutes to go. Tight game. It's all about who comes out with it.
Oh, what a triple. Kelman Poto under shot clock pressure. That is huge.
The defender just abandoned her, followed the ball. Not too concerned about the three-point stroke, and you could be forgiven. Who knows where she was on the scouting report today. She hasn't actually played up to this point in the season, but big minutes down the stretch here. Coach Cameron leaning on her, and she has responded with 5 straight.
Lead back out to 8. Lambert. We talked about a triple-double watch at the half, and really she's just stalled since that time. Clark tries to fire them up. Back at you.
What a response. They really needed that one to keep touch. That keeps the pressure on the Kāhu, but they have been executing at a high level here in the second half.
Cox, Rabati says, I'll slam that door shut. Back out to Cox in the corner for the triple. Oh, now they are lighting the gym up.
1, 2, 3, easy as you like. Shooters everywhere on the court. Cox over 20 points now. 23 to be exact.
Top of the table billing, and it is living up to the hype. Clark misses with the 15-footer. This one for 3 for Lambert.
Oh, it's a good look.
It was a good open look. No one near it, but she couldn't capitalize.
I believe Lambert just hit double figures in rebounds to go along with her 13 points.
Still sitting on those 6 assists.
They've taken the ball out of her hands. Oh, is that a foul or is it a bounce? Foul's called.
Leon McGoldrick.
Look at this. Michaela Cox waiting on it. I'm going to drive now. You step off, I'm going to drain it. And that's more to the lines of what I was talking about. Force them into shooting, but she was so concerned with the drive there, she jumped off of it and gave Michaela Cox the space she needed and the confidence needed to hit it. And now she's back at the stripe for a couple of attempts from Zine and a chance to go for 25. How about the efficiency of Michaela Cox today? 7 for 11 from the field, 2 for 3 from deep, 8 for 10 from the stripe now, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Putting it together.
Yeah, I was just checking in case you had any more stats that you wanted to roll out there. That's all there was.
Keep going. That's there's some turnovers, but I'll let it go on those ones.
Lambert and draws the contact and gets the roll.
Oh, they just refuse to quit. Biggest lead of the ball game for the Kāhu. Lambert trying to carry her team back into this one. It is a long road though, but a 3-point play here would make it a little bit shorter.
Well, we've already seen some great basketball in GJ Gardner, Tauihi. But Casey Frank, I think we're seeing 2 teams here who are leading the way for the others. I think we're starting to see a level here. And in crucial minutes here at the end of a top of the table clash, we're seeing big players step up.
Yeah, there has been response after response. And these are the 2 teams at the top of the table right now. And they do look like favorites to fight for that championship in the inaugural season of the Tauihi Basketball Aotearoa League.
Kahu, Tauihi was involved with Rabati. She's got to be so careful, Talia, off the ball there.
Well, the Whai starting to creep up in the physicality. Looks like Makadash got called for the block there on the floor. Ball should be on the sideline. Just getting a little bit of the floor moppers in to clean things up. Tauihi is really pleading her case. Tell you what, Della Amundsen is much kinder to Tauihi than she ever was when I was complaining.
Didn't talk to you?
Oh, she did.
Briefly?
Very briefly.
With some visual instructions
with some
as
daggers.
Well. Michaela Cox, every bucket now for the Kāhu is a little dagger into the side of the Whai, but every miss is just the hint of an opening for them.
When it's a door, not a door. When it's ajar, it's still open.
Coleman Porto was reaching in there, and Green all alone under the bucket.
Oh, there's a beautiful pass there. Finally lines up assist number 7 for Lambert, and Green has been really influential when she gets the touches.
Inside 3 minutes, the margin is 5. Tauihi kicks it out from the corner. Grays, oh my goodness me, that is such a killer blow.
That could be the nail in the coffin. But they're not buried yet. 8 points the difference, 2.5. Plenty of time if they can keep this flow offensively. Back to the pick and roll with Green. Great action out of it last time.
Lambert, baseline, McGoldrick, an easy layup.
From behind, I think it was the defense of Tauihi there without fouling, contesting that, forcing McGoldrick into the mix, or into the miss. Well played.
Oh, has the air just disappeared from the Whai balloon?
Not yet.
They've got it back.
Nikki Green with a great hand on the help defense, but they got to start converting buckets consecutively here. Got to string those baskets together.
Yeah, we're almost in that territory now if they can't afford to miss and they have to get stops. Contact Green and Kelman Porto in the paint. McGoldrick stolen away. Ledger Walker.
Going to be pretty much it, unless they can force a quick turnover here. Just not enough time for the Whai to respond.
Cox drives, draws the contact. It's either Vucinic or McGoldrick. Take your pick.
Oh, well, you know, coming into this one, I saw it as the strength on the interior of the Whai against the strength on the perimeter of the Kāhu. And the Kāhu on the wings at the point of attack, they have won the battle here in the second half consistently. And just overwhelmed the Whai's defense with the penetrating over and over, forcing foul upon foul, and so many trips to the line as Michaela Cox hits her 10th free throw in this ball game. 10 for 12. She is from the stripe. She is making a living there. 26 points, make it 27.
And really, free throws early on were just a lifeline for the Kāhu to stay in the game. I'm trying to recall, was it 10 of 14? I think 10 of their first 14 points were from the Racine. But now it's really just icing on the cake here. They've extended now out to 10. And they need a minor miracle now to fight.
Did I ask for a big scoring game from Michaela Cox?
I think we might have discussed it, yeah.
Did she respond with a little 27 today?
But as you described earlier, it's the efficiency. Yeah. She's just quietly gone about finding her shots and getting her good looks. And that efficiency is so hard to defend.
Yeah, and they really needed that performance from her tonight with the lack of success from the three-point line. Although they found some late, 6 for 16 now. And the Whai gone searching. 6 makes as well, but on 27 attempts from deep.
So looking at that offensive load and how it's been shared, I mean, strength or weakness, and obviously tonight it's a strength. You've got Tauihi with 18 points, Michaela Cox with 27, next best is 7, 2 players with 7.
You know, there's nothing wrong with getting your buckets from one area, as long as you're able to keep them open. You know, you got to continually get those guys the ball. I mean, a little slightly reminiscent of my time with the Tall Blacks when we had Kirk Penny out there averaging about 35 one tour, and everybody else I think combined for 8.
Well, and I imagine there were spells there with Penny and Jones, and they would be dominating big time.
So there's nothing wrong if you can continually get to the cow to keep that milk flowing. Nothing wrong with it, especially when they're skilled to the level of Tauihi, Cox tonight. But they do have other people that can step up here and there to get it done. Some timely buckets from Grays. Ash Kelman-Poto was fantastic in that fourth quarter when she hit 5 straight. And those are buckets they really needed. If they can continue to get those timely contributions, that's the key.
Huge 90 seconds required for the Whai if they're to pull this one from the fire. Clark, Lambert, they need quick buckets. She gets to the Rosine.
Oh, had to look on the wing. One more swing.
Oh, I thought Clark just lost the handle for a moment. Perhaps could have put the 3 ball up. They go inside, turn it over, and that will just about do it, you would think now. Lambert tries to get a hand in there. She's screaming at her teammates to foul. But this one might be just about done and dusted. Tauihi.
Oh, what a response by the Kahu after a slow opener in the first quarter. Tauihi misses that one, but doesn't really matter at this point.
Lambert, the tip in from Green is good.
There's still a sliver of hope. But the Kahu need to slow things down. As Tauihi, was she trying to foul out there? You can't really stick the butt out for a screen, but she gets away with it.
Well, the Fire still prepared to let the clock run down and let them have a look. They get a rebound, turn it over.
That's it. What a performance from the Kahu. Did it as a team defensively. As much as we've been talking about the offense of Tauihi and Cox here in the second half, it was their defensive intensity in the second half that was phenomenal. Is that a technical foul called?
I heard another whistle, and I wondered whether it was on Tauihi for throwing the ball at
for
Green.
throwing the ball as she walks off the court out of the gym. That is her 5th personal she's done. Tauihi was supposed to shoot free throws, so someone's going to have to sub in for the Kahu to take those shots, and that is that bubbling emotion that we were talking about earlier in the fourth that Jody Cameron did a good job of getting her to step back from, but not on the entirety.
Yeah, and I think the referee's got this bang on. That Tauihi had won the foul, but she didn't like the contact, and as she hit the deck, she released the basketball towards Green.
To be fair, that's the 3rd cheap one she got away with in this game. She's had a few that were right in front of officials, some forums here or there, and Lambert's going to go down, shoot the free throws now. And she shoots the first and misses it. Just the one?
Just the one for the tech. And we should now return to the other Rosine free throw line. It seems appropriate because it's been such a talking point in this one. And it is the sub, of course, who will come on and shoot the free throws. And it's been a very effective player off the bench for the Kahu. And Jasmine Kailahu-Fulu, 6 points on 2 of 3 shooting and 3 boards. So Jazz trying to just put the exclamation mark on this one.
Always nice when you can have a tall firm come in off the bench for the icing free throws.
And timeout is called, so not sure why, really, other than to try and...
Well, there's a chance. You never know. You never know. Miracles happen. They do. You come down here, you can get a quick triple, hit the 3, and you know, coaches have never. The next time a coach quits thinking they can win a game with a couple of seconds left will be the first time, I think.
Yeah, and listen, I was going to say, I'll take it back because the coach is there to coach and try and wring absolutely everything out of the game and her team. And Mel Bennett well within her rights to have another chat.
I just really appreciate the response from the Kahu in the fourth quarter. The Five picked up their intensity after, you know, just one bad quarter. That's all they had in this one. 9 points in the third was all they could muster, the Five. But then the Kahu really turning the screws on in this fourth quarter, just getting it enough done, outscoring their opponent 22-19 in a high-scoring quarter down the stretch where both teams back and forth. And the responses each and every time, the Whai got themselves back into it from the Kahu is really impressive.
This is the start, though, you feel, Casey, of a great rivalry, isn't it, in Tauihi? These two teams will go at it again twice this regular season. And I think there's been enough in this one to
I'll
suggest.
tell you what, I hope I'm on that one because there's a little bad blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that makes it way more fun.
Of course, also of concern for the Whai is the injury to Don McBride. We hope that she's okay. We'll have to wait and hear the reports from the team camp over the next couple of days. As Grays, who also left the court injured at one point, and McGoldrick with the foul. And Michaela Cox says, how about an unsportsmanlike?
Yeah. How about just let it go with 5.5 seconds left? Well, normally we'd be worrying about count back here. You're trying to get back and forth, but each team plays each other 3 times, so it'll just be the heads-to-head in terms of who's going to get the advantage if teams end up tied in the win column.
And Michaela Cox is just money from the Rosine. And we'll have 5.5 seconds here of the basketball. I was going to say just being bounced out to the end of this, but it is willing right to the end. And the crowd stands and they applaud. They've loved what they've seen, the home fans, as the Northern Kāhu have continued their perfect start to the season. They go 4 from 4 and inflict a second defeat on the Whai. They win this one 79-67.
Oh, what a response after a slow opener. That first quarter, the Kāhu only able to muster 14 total points, and just 2 of those from the field. I mentioned earlier, 10 of those from the stripe. The Rosine was kind to them, did enough to keep them in the ball game in that first quarter. They responded in the second and came out and were tremendous defensively in that third quarter, taking all the options away from the Whai. And they came down, had just enough response in the fourth quarter to knock back a pretty sprightly comeback from the Whai. And in the end, we've got somebody on top of the leaderboard now. We've got a new arrival on top of the leaderboard, as both teams will now sit at 3 wins. Oh, sorry, the Kāhu
go
sitting
4
at 4-0,
from 4.
and the Whai at 2-2.
And the Toko Manawa Queens 2-2, splitting their opening 4 games. Likewise, the Pokai, and it's the Hoiho.
Actually, it's already been updated, so it's 3-0 for the Kāhu and 2-1. Is that right? Anyway, back to the games that are upcoming.
Definitely 4 for the Kāhu as we have a look at the action still to come. And get out and into the stadiums, folks. We've had some wonderful crowds around this GJ Gardner Tauihi. The Queens take on the Pokai. And a great round of action coming your way. Get to the gym if you can't enjoy it here on Sky Sport. But they've been tested, they were poked, they were prodded, and the beast woke up in the second half, the Kāhu, and they run out pretty comfortable winners in what was a tense and tight affair throughout. The Northern Kāhu 79, the Whai 67. On behalf of Casey Frank and the entire team, it's been a pleasure from Eventfinda. We'll see you next time in the GJ Gardner Tauihi.